Because I believe in this realm of the heart, which means respect, a genuine respect, give the genuine dignity to the adversary, so you may turn the adversary into a friend. Or if not a friend, someone that you can negotiate with and make it a partner for peace. If the peace is not just a rhetorical statement. It's very, very important that we look into the values that we have, particularly the religious values that created civilizations. There is no civilization on this planet that had not been based on a belief system. And based on the belief system, the rules, the playground rules are set up of what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is evil. That was never the realm of the politicians. It was never the realm of academicians or philosophers. It was the realm of religion. The prophet, the guru, the holy man, the wise man, always centered on an absolute value perspective, based on God, based on an almighty being, creator, and so forth. So we have to look into these values and advise our politicians, those who create doctrine, those who create policies, that instead of bringing peace and creating a road map towards peace, are created a road map towards war and the empowerment of industrial military complexes in the superpowers, such as the US, such as this country, and all the other, India and all the others, in which the economies of these countries are linked intimately into the industrial military complexes. So they cannot be sincere in making peace because of the linkage of the economies with weapons and the war machine and the war industry. So they need to create conflicts. And if there is a conflict, like a fire, they don't want to extinguish the fire. Or they extinguish part of it and leave the fire burning so suddenly. And based on these fires and these insurgencies and disagreements that are going towards possible wars, for example, the relationship between the US and Russia right now is very, very poor, it's very bad. Because Russia doesn't look eye to eye with the US, We need to make our politicians aware. They have to move and be faithful to what they really believe. We need strong armies. We need a strong defense, but not as the first call. Armies and defense has to be as the last call. The weapon or last resource, not the first resource. But what's happening with the world, beginning with the US and in England as an example of these two countries, is that for the last 20 years, ever since the fall of the Soviet Empire, I can even pinpoint the date, in which there was a great opportunity for peace in the world. Because here is an empire that wanted to swallow the whole world and bring this experiment of communism to the whole planet. And instead of bringing to them the best of our experience for America since 1776, the best. And from this country, since Carta Magna, since Cromwell, and the heroes who empower the commoners, the common people in England. Instead of doing that, they began to empower the people who could translate political power into financial power in Russia. They couldn't do it with China. China was wiser. And China forced the US and forced England and forced the main powers, let me be me. I'll do the reforms, I'll do the restructuring, I'll do the changes according to the interest of China, and they have to respect that. With Russia was not like that. So Russia is a mess. And everybody blames Putin. Putin is a product of the system and the KGB. He was in charge, an operator for years with the KGB. So we cannot use this as a means to move from an adversarial relation to make him an enemy. We have a system, a fabric that has been weaved. It took almost 100 years, which is the common home for all humanity, which is the UN. It's not perfect. It's full of corruption. It's full of problems. You know, it has the same anomalies that every country on earth has. But it's the best we have. And it took us a long time to build. It took us a long time to build bad relations with China. But we have a relations. We have an ally with China. We don't have a good relations with Russia, which we should, not because we believe in what they believe, not because they are feeding our interest or agreeing with our interest. No, it's because they have power. And they can make the life of the entire Western world and the entire world very miserable. And millions of people can die as a result of this confrontation. So the question is how to move from adversarial relations to maybe not friendly, but at least workable relations, making partnerships for peace with Saudi Arabia, with Russia, with whoever is in Syria, and whoever will be in power with Syria. ISIS is something else. In assessing the dangers and the anomalies within ISIS, what I'm talking about is very difficult. I thought the only way to reach to them who are so radical and consider the disbeliever, the infidel, as humanoid, is not human, it's a humanoid. To be human, he or she has to believe what he believes and accepts what he accepts. And even if the person decides to accept, they won't trust you. There are elements for them to distrust you, so they will kill you. So I realized that the only way to have this kind of approach with ISIS leaders is to have moderate people who talk to them, who they can talk, who they can trust. But we don't do that. Why? Because we're not interested in solving the problem. We are interested in fueling the problem to feed these dragons that spit fire with the war machine around the world. Very, very dangerous.